Hey, for today's video, I wanted to talk about roots and overwatering and why that kind of happens, why it's a problem, and some ways to address it that are effective and some that are less effective. This video is part of a series that I am cleverly calling Happier Houseplants. It's all about the fundamentals of kind of plant care with the intention of understanding why some things work and some things don't work as well. Now, the series is focused on container plants, and not everything is going to work the same way for plants that are planted in ground or in bed, so everything with a grain of salt. Here's the deal. When plants struggle with overwatering, what they're really struggling with is poor aeration. Without access to air, roots are weaker, they're not as healthy, they're more susceptible to disease, and if they're really cut off from air for an extended period of time, they will just start to die off. Now, in the best case scenario, when we have root damage like this, a plant has to expend extra energy to regrow and regenerate damaged roots. In the worst case scenario, we kill the plant. A lot of the time, our kind of initial reaction as gardeners to seeing signs of overwatering is to adjust our watering habits. But that doesn't really address the root cause of the problem. So we're going to look at what actually kind of happens in the pot. Imagine a generic potted plant in a pot with drainage holes. Drainage holes very important. Every potting mix is really just a combination of big particles and small particles with gaps in between them, which are called pores. Now, ideally, for roots to be healthy, those pores are full of a combination of air and water so that they always have access to both of those things. Whenever we water a plant, the water moves through a potting mix, pushing air out of those pores and filling them with water as we kind of saturate that mix with liquid. Now, if your potting mix is well drained, if it has good drainage, excess water is allowed to then drain from the bottom of your pot through the drainage holes that hopefully you're using. And as that water leaves, fresh air is kind of pulled in, is allowed to enter the mix, and your potting mix again becomes a healthy environment. If your potting mix has poor drainage, then more of those pores are full of water, there's less room for air to get in, and that's really where a lot of overwatering problems kind of stem from. That's actually a common cause for a lot of root problems, from root rot to like fungi or parasites or pests or root death. A lot of the times it comes down to too much water, not enough air in the root zone. There are mechanisms for that extra water, that retained water, to leave, but the big ones are kind of evaporation, which is very slow if your potting mix is overly retentive in the first place, or uptake by the roots. So if the plant actually just will slowly draw the water out to use it. But again, if your roots are not sufficiently aerated, they're not going to be as good, as efficient at doing that. So quick recap, we should know so far that the real problem of overwatering is usually poor aeration, lack of air to the roots, and this is often caused by using potting mixes that retain too much water. These potting mixes are kind of inherently less well aerated, and that contributes to a whole spectrum of root problems. Now again, changing your watering habits cannot fix the problem, because the real problem here is a function of the kind of physical structure of the potting mix itself. Imagine we have a potting mix that holds too much water, that has these problems, and we're going to try and adjust our watering habits to compensate for that. Option number one, you decide you're going to water your plants still thoroughly, but you're going to water less frequently to allow your potting mix to kind of dry out. Here's the thing. Excess water that's retained in a potting mix collects towards the bottom of a container. It does not evenly distribute throughout the pot. So there's always kind of a layer at the bottom that is much wetter than everything else, and it's called perched water. So you got kind of two options here. You can do the commonly advised check the top inch or two of a potting mix and then water when that feels dry. If you do that, the bottom perched water is never going to really dry out, because that will stay wetter for a lot longer. So you'll never really get sufficient air into that bottom part of a container. Option number two, you water when the bottom of the pot is dry. You can check through your drainage holes, and whenever that feels dry, you water the plant, in which case everything that is not the bottom has already been drier for some time, and the roots may have been lacking water for part of that time. Neither of these is really an ideal solution, and again, neither really addresses the root cause of the problem. It's not really a long-term solution. Option number two, you decide to water your plants in little sips so that the soil is always kind of moist but never dry and never too wet. I mean, this might seem logical, but by doing this, you are never allowing the soil to be really flushed out thoroughly. Now, fertilizers that you may use or dissolved minerals, salts in your tap water will build up in the potting mix over time. And as these things, as more salts and minerals become concentrated, they actually start to impair root function because of osmotic pressures and all kinds of stuff. If it gets really bad, you actually get into problems like fertilizer burns. So it is very important to water thoroughly and flush out your potting mixes. And if you water in sips to avoid overwatering, you just can't do that. Admittedly, this is less of a problem if you use distilled water or reverse osmosis water. For most people, that's not really convenient nor financially feasible. But again, it doesn't address the base problem. The best way to actually correct for problems with overwatering is to improve the drainage of your mix, to allow more of that water to flow out and make more space for air to get in. If a potting mix offers really excellent drainage, it's actually a lot harder to overwater in the first place because excess water just flows out of the pot, and roots always have access to air in the pores of the potting mix, even if you water more often than necessary. A well-drained potting mix allows you to water thoroughly every time. You can always flush out the mix. You don't have to worry about using little sips, and you don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks or however long you're waiting for your potting mix to dry out. It is a genuine long-term solution to the problem, and in my opinion, it's one of the best bang for your buck things you can do for overall plant health and root health. The catch is, to really permanently improve drainage, the best way to do it is really to make your own potting mix. And of course, that is a little bit more involved. Now, it's not hard to make your own potting mix. It's not complicated, but it's definitely more work than going to a garden center and buying just a bag of pre-made mix. And also, the trade-off for having better drainage for your plants is that you have to water them more often. Just to be clear, I recognize that most people and most plants are perfectly happy growing in store-bought potting mixes. This is not an indictment of those. If that's working for you, great. But if you are seeing problems, if a plant is struggling, or if you're struggling to figure out kind of how to make a plant healthier, or you've got root issues, in my opinion, making your own mix can go a long way to solving all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about making your own mix here. I will put up a video in the future about it, but I will leave a link in the description to kind of the mix that I use for most of my plants. And it also does a really good job of explaining why it works the way that it does. For the rest of the video, we'll talk about some less involved ways to kind of temporarily improve drainage in the short term. But first, there is a huge myth that we have to bust. So the drainage layer is recommended all the time by everybody. If you're not familiar, the idea is that by adding a layer of coarse material to the bottom of your potting mix, you somehow allow more water to drain out of the pot. In practice, it just doesn't work. Adding this coarse layer has no effect whatsoever on the physical properties of the layer above it. It doesn't decrease retention, it doesn't improve drainage at all. Imagine taking a sponge, soaking it in water, letting it drip until no more water drips out, so it is saturated, and then put that sponge on top of a bunch of pebbles. Nothing happens. The pebbles do nothing to draw water away. It contradicts the laws of physics. What it does do effectively is reduce the amount of potting mix in your pot. So it reduces the amount of space that your roots can actually usefully colonize. It does also increase the weight at the bottom of the pot. So it is potentially a solution if you're just looking to stop a pot from being blown over. But for improving drainage or aeration, nothing. This is an easy experiment to do for yourself. Or you can click on the link in the description to a video of a gentleman who's done the experiment, the demonstration, for you for your convenience. Thankfully, there are some solutions that do actually help, at least for the short term. Method number one, tilting the pot. So again, we talked about perched water earlier, which is kind of the amount of water that collects at the bottom of a container. This amount of water, without getting too specific, is always going to be a certain height, and that's determined by the potting mix that you're using, the particles in it. If you tilt a pot to 45 degrees, like hopefully in the video I've added to this right now demonstrating, you change the volume of water that's needed to maintain that height in the pot. So you allow actually more water to drain out. This does work in the short term. It does remove more water from your mix, but it is kind of a pain if you have to do this for every single plant that you have. Method number two is the wick. So you can add a wick of any kind of absorbent material into the bottom layer of a pot, and water will actually be drawn down that wick and out of the pot. It's the same mechanism that dipping a paper towel in water, where capillarity allows the water to kind of flow up. This is kind of the solution that the drainage layer wants to be, but isn't. Method number three, use a porous pot. Clay pots, unglazed terracotta pots are porous, so they allow kind of air and water to move through them relatively slowly, but it is something. By planting directly in a terracotta pot, you kind of have an all-around wick for the potting mix as a whole. It definitely breathes better than a plastic pot or a glazed ceramic pot, which don't breathe at all, but it does not replace the idea of a drainage hole at the bottom. And that brings us to the single most important tip of all, which is use a pot with drainage holes. If a pot with drainage holes is unattractive to you, by all means, put your drained pot into a cuter pot, use it as a cache pot. Drainage holes make it easier to flush out the minerals and salts that build up in the soil. They make it easier to gauge how much water your potting mix is retaining. They make it much harder to overwater because, again, excess water is allowed to drain out of the bottom instead of just pooling in the mix. They also allow a little more aeration into the lower layers of the pot. They just take a huge amount of headache out. Always, always, always use drainage holes if you have the option. So that's it for this little video. Maybe you agree with stuff that I've said. Maybe you disagree with stuff that I've said. Maybe you have further questions. Comment below. Let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you. I would love to have a conversation about this. We're all just trying to learn and take better care of our plants. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for hanging out. I do appreciate it, and happy planting. Lighting change. Nice.